This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, greetings from Addis. You're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Jadanita Swaye for the main news. First, our top stories. Congo and M23 rebels plan to hold first direct talks. Namibia to revive Air Namibia via public-private partnership. South Africa collects $100 billion in tax revenue. China launches test satellite for satellite internet technology. Here are the details of the news. The Congo government and M23 rebels aim to hold direct talks on April 9, sources from both camps said on Tuesday. The meeting in Doha would be the two sides' first direct negotiations since M23 fighters captured eastern Congo's two largest cities in a rapid offensive that has left thousands dead and forced hundreds of thousands more from their homes. Both sides had agreed not to publicly discuss the substance of the talks. Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi and his Rwandan counterpart Paul Kagame held a surprise meeting in Doha on March 18. Now to Nigeria. Nigeria has called for global cooperation to tackle organized immigration crime and strengthen border control. Speaking at the Border Security Summit in London, Minister of Interior Dr. Olumbumi Tunji-Ojo emphasized the need for data sharing and collaboration, particularly in the Sahel and West African regions. He stressed the importance of proactive measures to prevent irregular migration and ensure secure borders. Tunji-Ojo highlighted that OIC is a shared global issue and requires collective solutions, acknowledging Nigeria's role as both a destination and transit country. Moving on to Namibia. Namibia plans to relaunch its national airline, Air Namibia, through a public-private partnership with operations expected by late 2026. The airline ceased operations in 2021 due to financial struggles and government bailouts. President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah confirmed the revival will follow a sustainable business model with a market study due by June 2025 and private partner negotiations to conclude by December 2025. The project requires an investment of $3 billion Namibian dollars and is expected to create 700 direct and 500 indirect jobs while boosting tourism and foreign exchange revenue. Shifting to Africa Development Bank. The African Development Bank has invested nearly $50 billion in infrastructure projects across Africa over the past decade. Akinwumi Adesina, African Development Bank president, highlighted recently the importance of regional corridors in boosting economic growth and integration. Since 2015, the bank has made significant strides in cross-border infrastructure, a key aspect of its continental integration policy. These investments will be discussed at the 2025 African Development Bank annual meetings in Abidjan from May 26 to 30 under the theme Making Africa's Capital Work Better for Africa's Development. In other news, the World Health Organization has published its first reports on the critical shortage of medicines and diagnostic tools for invasive fungal diseases, highlighting the urgent need for research and development. Fungal infections such as Candida are growing resistant to treatment and disproportionately affect vulnerable groups, including cancer patients, people with HIV, and organ transplant recipients. WHO officials stressed the lack of proper diagnostics in low and middle-income countries, making it difficult to treat these infections effectively. The mortality rate for the deadliest fungi can reach 88%, and the challenges of limited antifungal medicines and slow R&D compound the issue. Meanwhile, China successfully sent a test satellite for satellite internet technology into space from the Jianquan Satellite Launch Center located in the country's northwest on Tuesday. The satellite was launched at 12 p.m. Beijing time by a Long March 2D carrier rocket and entered the planned orbit successfully. Test satellites for satellite internet technology are primarily used to conduct technical verifications and experiments, including mobile to satellite broadband connections and the integration of space-ground networks. The launch marks the 567th mission for the Long March series carrier rockets.
Story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Turning to business news, the South African Revenue Service SARS announced it collected approximately $100 billion in the 2024-2025 fiscal year, exceeding its target by 8.8 billion rand. SARS reported a 6.9% year-on-year growth, outpacing the projected GDP growth of 5.4%. This boost in revenue comes as Finance Minister Eno Godongwana seeks political support to pass the national budget, which includes a proposed VAT increase. Economists suggest additional revenue could reduce the need for the VAT hike. SARS also prevented 146.7 billion rand in fraudulent refunds. The revenue target for 2025/2026 is set at 2 trillion rand. Finally, the World Bank is providing $500 million to support economic recovery in Turkey's earthquake-devastated regions. The funding aims to create around 17,000 jobs, particularly in small and medium enterprises, with a focus on women and youth. This is part of a broader $1 billion World Bank package to aid Turkey's recovery from the February 2023 earthquakes, which killed over 50,000 people and caused an estimated $104 billion in damage. The total World Bank support to Turkey is set to reach $4 billion for earthquake recovery efforts. Before concluding, here are the latest updates on global commodity prices. Weather updates now. That is all for today, and thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.